Texas appeals, court blocks. Execution of David Leonard Wood, justice delayed or denied. Dive into the chilling case of David Leonard Wood, a man convicted of a horrific crime spree that terrorized El Paso in the 1980s. But is justice truly being served, or is the legal system entangled in a web of doubt and procedural delays? Give a like and subscribe, leave a comment. The late 1980s in El Paso were marked by a series of disappearances that instilled fear in the community. Young women vanished without a trace, leaving families and law enforcement desperate for answers. Ivy Susanna Williams, Desiree Wheatley, Karen Baker, Angelica Frausto, Dawn Marie Smith, and Rosa Maria Casio became the tragic faces of this terror. Their bodies were discovered in shallow graves, confirming the worst fears of a city on edge. The unsolved disappearances of Marjorie Knox, Melissa Alaniz, and Cheryl Lynn Vasquez Dismukes added another layer of mystery and dread. The sheer scale of the crimes made it El Paso's deadliest crime spree until 2019. Due to the intense media coverage and public sentiment in El Paso, David Leonard Wood's trial was moved to Dallas. The aim was to ensure a fair and impartial jury, free from local biases. Wood consistently maintained his innocence throughout the trial, vehemently denying any involvement in the murders. His defense team argued that the evidence was circumstantial and insufficient to prove his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Despite his claims, the jury found him guilty of capital murder in November 1992. The verdict sent shockwaves through the community, offering a sense of closure, but also raising questions about the strength of the evidence. 4 days after the conviction, the jury sentenced Wood to death. The decision solidified the gravity of the crimes and the desire for retribution, marking a pivotal moment in the pursuit of justice. This isn't the first time Wood's execution has been halted. In 2009, a previous stay was granted to allow for the pursuit of claims regarding his intellectual disability. His legal team has consistently challenged the conviction, raising various concerns about the fairness of the trial and the reliability of the evidence. These appeals have included requests for DNA testing, aimed at potentially exonerating him. Defense lawyers have criticized the state for its initial reluctance to allow DNA testing on key pieces of evidence. They argued that such testing could provide crucial insights and potentially overturn the conviction. In 2010, one of 3 tested blood samples excluded Wood as the source. This discovery fueled further debate about the validity of the evidence used to convict him. Prosecutors and the courts maintained that the single blood sample would not have altered the jury's decision in 1992. They argued that the other evidence was sufficient to establish his guilt, and further tests were deemed unnecessary. The recent order from the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals cites 8 allegations as the basis for the stay. These allegations raise serious questions about the integrity of the original trial and the fairness of the legal process. The allegations include claims of innocence, suggesting that Wood may have been wrongly convicted. Perjury, the act of lying under oath, is also alleged, potentially undermining the credibility of key witnesses. Suppression of evidence, the withholding of potentially exculpatory information, is another serious claim. The destruction of evidence further complicates the case, raising concerns about the reliability of the evidence presented at trial. Ineffective assistance of counsel suggests that Wood's legal representation may have been inadequate. A conflict of interest could have compromised the impartiality of his defense. Violations of rights to a unanimous jury verdict and witness confrontation are also cited. These allegations strike at the heart of the legal process, questioning whether Wood's constitutional rights were protected. The court granted the stay without specifying which of the 8 allegations prompted the decision. This lack of clarity leaves room for speculation and further legal debate. The stay will remain in place until further order from the court. This indefinite timeline prolongs the uncertainty and delays the ultimate resolution of the case. The order was issued less than 48 hours before Wood was scheduled to be executed. This last-minute intervention underscores the urgency and complexity of the legal issues at stake. Wood's criminal history reveals a disturbing pattern of violence and sexual offenses. This background provides context for the crimes he was ultimately convicted of. In 1976, he was convicted of indecency with a child, marking the beginning of his documented criminal behavior. He was paroled in 1978, only to re-offend shortly thereafter. In 1980, he was convicted of rape, further solidifying his reputation as a dangerous offender. He was paroled again in January 1987 and returned to El Paso, setting the stage for the horrific events that would follow. In 1987, he was found guilty of kidnapping and sexually assaulting a woman who survived the attack. This incident occurred around the same time as the murders, linking him to a pattern of violent behavior against women. Marcia Fulton, the mother of victim Desiree Wheatley, expressed her frustration and disappointment with the stay. For her and other victims' families, the delays in the case prolong their suffering and prevent them from achieving closure. Wood has been on death row since January 1993, more than 32 years. This extended period of incarceration highlights the complexities and delays inherent in the capital punishment system. Wood's attorney, Gregory Wiershock, couldn't immediately be reached for comment. The legal team's perspective on the stay and their strategy moving forward remains to be seen. The unsigned order was issued per curiam by the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals. This means that the decision was made by the court as a whole without attributing it to a specific judge. Judges Mary Lou Keel and Gina Parker disagreed with the decision, indicating a division within the court regarding the merits of the stay. Their dissenting opinions could shed light on the legal arguments against the stay. Judge Burt Richardson didn't participate in the decision, potentially due to a conflict of interest or other recusal. His absence further underscores the complexities and sensitivities surrounding the case. Is this a case of justice delayed or justice denied? The legal battles continue, leaving the victims' families in limbo and raising profound questions about the fairness and effectiveness of the criminal justice system. The David Leonard Wood case is a stark reminder of the complexities and challenges inherent in the pursuit of justice. With a history of appeals, stays, and lingering questions, this case demands a closer look. What do you think? Should the courts prioritize finality, or should every avenue of appeal be exhausted, even decades after the initial conviction? Dive deeper into the legal documents and evidence surrounding this case. Share your insights and analysis in the comments below. Subscribe to our channel for more in-depth explorations of true crime cases and legal analysis. Let's unravel the truth together and hold the system accountable.